Nick, when you think about it, consumer cellular is a business where everybody knows your name and knows exactly what you need, which is kind of perfect for this podcast.
Yeah.
So you pick up the phone or you text and you get somebody, a person who responds to you, and it makes it not only easier, but much more pleasant. Nothing like talking to a real person. For a limited time, you can sign up with Consumer Cellular and save $50 with promo code TED50.
Visit consumercellular.com/TED50 or call 1-888-FREEDOM and mention promo code TED50.
Terms and conditions apply. You know what I love about you as an actor, and we've never said howdy, maybe in passing.
No, I feel like there should have been like a Jane Fonda, Tom Hayden crisscross. Was there one of those in the 80s?
Perhaps.
There had to have been.
Yeah.
Had to.
She's become one of our best friends.
She's the
Jane.
best. She's the best.
Astounding.
I was very, very, very close to her during that time, and then
Tom Hayden time.
During Tom Hayden time, and then I was actually at her house. She goes, "You know who called me? It's the weirdest thing. Ted Turner. He wanted to take me out," and I'm like, "You should go out with him." And that was the last I saw of her. That was it.
Yeah, I wanted to. We'll get into this, but you guys probably have done similar environmental stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Showed up to the same conference or whatever.
Yeah, I remember. My favorite one is that when you want to shut down a nuclear power plant, the two people that are best to do it for sure are me and Meg Ryan. I mean, that will make you rethink your energy priorities. When we show up.
I know. We are so the wrong spokespeople for the environment. We're so obviously liberal lefties.
I just remember it like it was yesterday. It was like, so, I mean, look, I love doing all that stuff. The number one, where I think we missed each other was in the famous Clean Water Caravan that it was Craig Zadan and Neil Marin, the great producers. And there was a bus tour through California through Prop 65, which was about cleaning up our water system. And everybody on the planet was on it, but there were two different buses. But it sounds like maybe you weren't on either bus.
No, I wasn't. Totally missed that. What year was that?
1986. And we got pulled over for speeding. Well, also because Michael J. Fox and I were smoking pot out of the top of the Greyhound bus roof. And the cop pulled us over, and it was like a clown car. Yeah. Out came Whoopi Goldberg, Cher, Judd Nelson, Michael J. Fox, Sarah Jessica Parker, Matthew Broderick, Robert Downey Jr., Jane Fonda, Danny Glover.
And why were you pulled over? Because of the smoke?
We had the top emergency hatch off, Michael and I, and we were smoking pot.
You know what I love about you? I got to say this right off the bat. You are one of my favorite kinds of actors. You are a character actor in a leading man's body. And that to me always kind of delights. That kind of slight contradiction delights me because I never quite know where you're going to go as an actor. And that is what makes, I think, an audience the happiest, is when they are surprised and delighted.
That's the greatest compliment you could give me. Thank you.
Yeah.
I that's the way I just I aspire to be. I mean, to be a character actor trapped in a leading man's body. That's exactly it.
Did you start off that way, or were you just thrilled to be leading man and then move into character acting?
Well, I always felt the same way. So I always felt like, I think, I could be wrong. I don't want to speak for character actors, but I always feel like character actors don't feel like leading men. I never felt like one. I might have looked like one, but I certainly never felt like one. But I always got leads. It was weird. I never had the 4-line part and then the 3 great scenes and then moved up. I got immediately cast.
Is that The Outsiders or
even before that? I did a TV show with the great Eileen Brennan. Do you remember Eileen?
Yes, I do.
I played her son, so I was like the handsome son of Eileen Brennan, who's raising a family on her own. But wait, there's a twist. There's another family sharing the house. Remember, like every sitcom was that?
Yeah, yeah. What year was that? And what was it called?
Oh, it's a scintillating title. The title just makes you sit right up in your chair and go, I want to watch this. The title was A New Kind of Family.
Oh.
It was New Kind.
Meaning sharing a house together.
Sharing a house together, yeah. Nobody had ever done that before, apparently.
How long did that last?
We shot 13. They shut us down after 6 and replaced the other family without ever telling the audience.
Oh.
And so the new family became Janet Jackson and Thelma Hopkins.
The Janet Jackson.
The Janet Jackson.
And that was your first?
That was 15.
You were 15?
Yeah.
So wait, all right, back up even more. How did you were you always wanting to be an actor?
Always.
And was that once you landed in Malibu?
No, I was raised in Dayton, Ohio.
Right.
And I went and saw a local community theater production of Oliver, and there were kids in it.
Right.
And I was like, struck dumbfounded, if we were doing my life story as a movie, it would be like, oh, and the light hits me. Yeah, and a total epiphany.
And that's early for that.
Really, I was like 8 or 9, really young. And there was a flyer, a bunch of flyers in the lobby for a children's summer theater workshop. I saw it, grabbed it, gave it to my mom, said, I want to do this. And she was like, great. And I never looked back. I knew ignorance is bliss. I had no idea how hard it was. Right. I had no idea that Dayton, Ohio isn't exactly a fertile ground for actors, although there was a lot of opportunity, a lot of community theater, a lot of summer stock, repertory theater. There was the great Kenley Players that went through there. I'm surprised they didn't come after you. And because what they did, the Kenley Players in those days would take the hottest person on a TV show and they would say, hey, on your hiatus, how would you like to be Henry Hill in The Music Man? And you'll do Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Flint, Michigan, and we'll pay you $30K a week. And you will, suck and fuck your way through the heartland on your hiatus.
Now,
I saw everybody come through, Kenley Players.
Now, go back to the suck and fuck. I'm not quite sure what that particularly meant.
Oh, come now, Ted.
Well, I know what suck and fuck means. Yes. Sorry, but how did that come with the $30,000 a week salary or whatever it was? I think you just learned everything you need to know about me, by the way, that when you said suck and fuck, I went, I'm sorry, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a real late developer.
I know. I was like, come on now, Ted.
I came very late to suck and fuck.
Suck and fuck. They and it was the Midwest, and you were Fonzie.
Yeah.
Rolling through Indianapolis on those summer nights.
Yeah.
2 matinee shows. Come on, get out of here. I know what was going on.
Did you ever do that?
I
Did you go back?
Auditioned for John Kenley. I want to do a movie about John Kenley. His life was insane. He brought traveling musicals. It was his idea to do traveling musicals. Now they do them all the time.
Right.
And he was a great entrepreneur and super interesting guy. Drove a bicycle around the stage all the time. He was nuts. But anyway, I digress. There was that kind of weird opportunity in Ohio. And then I moved to Malibu and nobody did theater. There's no theater in California.
So what happened to you?
I got an agent. Didn't know what an agent was. And they told me I needed one. And I got a couple commercials. And then I got A New Kind of Family at 15 and had a TV show on the air and then had a development deal at ABC.
Wow.
Well, development deal, a holding deal.
Yeah.
I did a pilot presentation, not even a pilot, with Ron Howard directing. And it was a starring vehicle for his brother Clint Howard.
Yes.
And Peter Breck from the Big Valley. And in those days, like I said, it wasn't good enough just to have a family living in a house. This was a show about a family of stunt performers who traveled the world with another family who were circus people. So you had like people bringing elephants and tigers to cities while I was a young Evel Knievel in spandex.
Well, clearly this was not a half hour. This
No.
was an hour, single camera.
Hour, single camera. Nobody ever asked me if I could ride a motorcycle. I couldn't.
Did you?
No, they had a grip below the frame. Go, eeky, 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 roll me. I never worked for Ron since. Ron only made 5,000 movies. I'm like, Ron, really? You
Really?
throw a brother a fucking bone. Then I did a bunch of remember after school specials?
Yes.
Remember they were a big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal. Not as big as There's Something About Amelia big.
Yeah, but the same
but the
thing.
same vibe.
You could do it in a month and a half on your hiatus. You
Yes.
could go off and do a movie like that.
I did one, and I did a Hallmark Hall of Fame
Right.
that I think got me a Golden Globe. No, I think it got me a Golden
Yes.
It did when I was
Yeah.
15 and a half.
Wow.
No. The Golden Globe I was late because it was right after Outsiders. So it was 17, 18. I'm getting into that era, and then Outsiders, and then I just did movies, pretty much 2 a year.
Before Outsider, right before. How was your ego? Was this
was always
all heady?
No, but dude, I was a nerd. Listen, first of all, you understand, I was so pretty that I looked like Brooke Shields. So legitimately,
Yeah.
like Terry
Yeah.
Shields literally tried to get us to get married. Terry Shields tried to do an arranged marriage.
That's her mom.
Yes,
Right.
she really did. So, the guys weren't having it. Guys were like, get out of here, Barbie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They weren't having any of what I was offering. And the girls didn't want anything to do with me because I
Too
was
scary.
Yeah, I was like I wasn't like a jock. I liked sports, but I wasn't on the I wasn't a jock. I was a theater kid.
Yeah.
So I really was a true in the quad of high school, where it's like the jocks over here, the popular people. I was in the sort of misfit. And so I always felt that way.
That's funny. I was not because of, your looks and all of that. My thing was I was just totally unconscious. I was like, I went away to school from living in Arizona with my Hopi and Navajo friends. And then I went to a prep school in Connecticut, and immediately that was the beginning of me faking belonging someplace.
Mm-hmm.
I faked my way through the entire thing. And I always felt like a bit of an imposter. But so my outsider thing came from having my head in the clouds.
I still have my head in the clouds.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're talking creative clouds and
Yes.
dreams and imagination.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Not me. I was just totally out to lunch.
Well, you didn't know what sucking and fucking was. We've established that.
I didn't. One of my Hopi friends when I was 12 said to me, or 11, said, hey, we're getting to know each other. Hey, do you like to fuck? And I went, oh, yeah. Had no idea what he was talking about. And it took me a long time to figure it out.
That's really that's amazing.
Yeah. One of the quick little, my Hopi friend Raymond and I are hitchhiking from town out to where we live in the country. And we get picked up by this. Back then you'd call him a hood or something. He had a
greaser. Outsiders,
yeah. Hot rod. And very cool. And he picked us up and he started talking about his date the night before and offered us this tip about women.
Oh, this is
what
good.
you do is you cup your hand and you give them just a little smack in the butt, right there in the center of their butt. Just give them a little smack and it sends a seismographic quiver to their clitoris and they love it. And we were just nodding our head going, oh, yeah. Wow, thanks.
I can promise you didn't know what a clitoris was.
No, I don't think I knew seismographic quiver either.
No,
but,
this guy, was he from NASA?
I
love that you remember that phraseology to this day.
Yes.
Well, who's going to forget it?
Yeah. And
I'm not.
Plus, it took me another 6 months to research and figure out what that was. You work hard for your money, Nick. So when it comes to your wireless plan, why would you give away your hard-earned money to Big Wireless? It's time to make the switch to consumer cellular.
I feel like you're talking to me, not the listener. Now you're
No,
just
I'm
talking to
working
me.
you. I'm working you. I
Okay.
tell you, you're going to be switching before you even know it. Consumer Cellular offers the same fast, reliable, nationwide coverage as big wireless at up to half the cost, and without the hidden fees or confusing long-term contracts. With a flexible data plan, you only pay for the data you use, not the data you don't, because that's just how it should be.
Yeah.
There's so many things to be proud of and happy to be a spokesperson for this organization.
I can feel the conviction.
I know. It's really
It's
true.
really coming across
It's
the table.
genuine. Yes,
Yeah.
good. And, people would have believed it if you hadn't pointed that out. Now it seems like you have to point it out because they don't believe.
Now it seems fake.
For a limited time, you can sign up with Consumer Cellular and save $50 with promo code TED50.
Visit consumercellular.com/TED50 or call 1-888-FREEDOM and mention promo code TED50.
That's consumercellular.com/TED50. Promo code TED50. Terms and conditions apply.
Savings based on Consumer Cellular's single line 1, 5, and 10 gigabyte data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to T-Mobile and Verizon's lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans, January 2024.
We're bouncing around, and I'm sorry.
But this is what we do.
Good.
No,
Because
this is what we
let's
do.
talk about your 30-year marriage, because that's impressive. That's impressive. I know everyone says this, but it's impressive in this town and this business and what we do for a living.
Yeah.
And also to be, how old were you when you got married? You were
I was 27, 28. By the way, married 5 blocks from where we sit talking.
But that's rare because people change. People, grow up and mature at different speeds and levels. And a lot of times that doesn't work out.
We changed and grew at different levels, but I think one of the secrets, and it's funny, people ask me a lot, do I have any tips? And it's never occurred to me until you framed the intro to the question the way you just did, is even though we would grow at different speeds, the other was willing to catch up.
Yeah. Boy, willing, I think, is one of the key words in a relationship.
Willing. Yeah. And sometimes it's been my job to catch up with her.
Right.
Other times it's been her job to catch up with me. And I can go back and look at 2 or 3 seminal moments where either one of us had to go, okay, I'm all right. I'm going to show up and figure this out and do the work. Usually it's me, by the way.
I was about to say, Mary's never had to catch up with me.
No, let's face it, it's always us. I tried to make it equal, but even I couldn't keep that lie going any longer than that. And then the other thing is, I think, first of all, I know this just from 50,000 feet with you and Mary, like you guys are really good friends.
Yeah.
And same with Cheryl and I. And also we, like whatever problem you think you have, and maybe you do have them, you go, I'm likely to have the same problem with the next person. So I might as well fix it here with this one. Right. So a lot of people just, the grass is greener thing just gets them.
You met, if I may bring up, because I know you've talked about sobriety.
Yeah.
If you met
during the height of my craziness.
Of your craziness. But when you got married, you were sober.
That's right. I got sober a year before. And, as they say, when you really are getting sober, don't do anything major in the first year. So I didn't. We were together, but we didn't, right. And then I had a year of sobriety under my belt, and then I proposed to her and we got married.
And was that shift to sobriety, was that, I need to do that if I want to be with her?
100%.
Yeah.
It was like at least 70% of why I got sober was realizing if I couldn't make it work with her, and I wanted to, I wasn't going to be able to make it work with anybody.
If you're blessed, then you find somebody who feels the same way. Because if you go, I see my part in this and I'll share it with you, but the other person goes, yeah, you're right, and doesn't look at their part of whatever the issue is.
You need a partner.
Then you don't trust. You don't grow.
Yeah. I mean, we've been, Cheryl and I are big believers in therapy and, marriage counseling, and we've certainly done that. We've done it when we needed it, and we've done it when we didn't need it.
Yeah.
It's like taking your car in and like making sure the engine's running great.
I had never done couples therapy before the last couple of years, and it's great,
isn't it? And
it's
it doesn't have to
better than I think single therapy in a way.
For sure, because you know what it is you get to go. In theory, let's hope it's a dispassionate observer, and you have to go, hey, wait a second, am I crazy?
Yes.
And they go, yes, Ted, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Or they go, no, you're not great. But I love it, and I think it's well, for whatever reason, it's kind of fraught with, oh, we're in trouble, we're in marriage counts.
No.
It's like that's not what it should be. It should be like going to the trainer. It should literally be like, I went to the chiropractor. That's what it should be like.
Yeah.
In terms of stigma.
And I think what you find out you can start sharing is stuff that you just don't want to share because it makes you feel bad about who you are or something. So I'm not going to share this because it's just, and you find yourself sharing that and realizing, oh, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And I just blew the lid off of something that I've been any secret in my life just totally fucks me up.
You can't have them.
No.
I mean, well, it's one of the core tenets of sobriety. So luckily that's something I got baked into me 33 years ago. Maybe normal people can have them, but it's hard to stay sober with secrets.
I keep bouncing backwards in time.
No, it's good. This is like a quantum physics talk.
Yes.
It's like we're in the unified field, Ted. Everything is happening all at once.
Mary follows me around in life going, he just made a leap, everybody. So what he didn't say is that, she has to
she translated
asterisk everything I say. She translates.
I understand, yes.
But all of the stuff we're talking about, all the, let's call it wisdom or life experience, can you look back at your mom and dad and go, oh, yeah, they gave me that or this or whatever.
Or
not.
Or you can look back and go, they didn't give me this. Boy, am I glad I got it. I mean, so my mom passed away really young, breast cancer. She was 64.
Wow.
And my dad is still alive and looks, one of my earliest memories of my dad is going to, can you imagine that they used to have these at county fairs? The guess your weight and age booth.
Was he good at it?
We would murder. And because he looks 25 years younger than he is. Yeah. Still, he's 80, almost 85. He looks like he's 65, 67.
You have a good relationship?
Yeah, we do.
Great.
I mean, it's complicated as all.
Yeah.
What I realize having my own kids now who are, one's about to turn 30, Jesus Christ, is no matter how, we fuck them up somehow. We do in some way, they have an axe to grind. They're always going to have an axe to grind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the axe may be teeny, tiny, or it may be ginormous, but so every son has their thing, and I certainly have it with my dad, but he taught me, he still works, still practices law. So that's the number one thing I think of anything is like work ethic, the value of work, the love of work, which is a
rule of law.
Rule of law.
That's a biggie.
Yeah. How to think.
Yeah.
How to to communicate.
How not to be a victim.
How not to be a victim. Yeah, he is definitely not a victim.
There's right or wrong, but you're not a victim.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, he taught me a lot about that. And my mom was someone who wrote every day of her life, never professionally, but wrote. I still have all of her writings. So, when I wrote I wrote 2 memoirs, and I would never have written them without my mother's influence. Never.
Did you write those after sobriety?
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you want it would have been like The Shining.
Yeah.
How do you like my work? And it's all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, page after. How do you like it? Here's my chapter about the Brat Pack.
All right, Brat Pack.
See how I led you there? Do you
Yeah,
like that?
that's
You're
great.
welcome.
So wait, that
You're
landed
welcome.
on all of you right after.
That's professional podcasting, what just
I,
happened.
I am, by the way, you can't see me, but underneath the table, I'm taking notes.
Yeah, I understand.
And I was hoping you'd go first so I could just mimic whatever you said.
Yeah.
So when did that title land on you from the press?
Oh, I remember it vividly. And I'll give you the Reader's Digest version of the story. So at the time, my best friend was Emilio Estevez. He was 24 years old. We'd done St. Elmo's Fire and all the John Hughes movies, and that was all a big thing happening at the time. And Emilio was writing, directing, and starring in a movie. And apparently, he was the last 24-year-old to do that was Orson Welles, apparently.
Wow.
So New York Magazine is going to do a profile on that. It's my best friend. Writer spends all the time with him, editing room, talking, weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And at the very end, Emilio comes to me and he says, so the writer feels like he just has one sort of view of me and it's very work-centric. And he wanted to see, what my friends are like and what I'm like away from work. So I'm throwing a dinner for him makes me laugh, at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, wow.
That's how long.
Yeah.
When that was cool. It's like, so I'm throwing dinner at TGIFs, at Fuddruckers. We're all going to get together. But that's what it was. And that was the cool place. So we go and I remember being there. I don't remember much. It was a normal night, nothing to write home about, literally write home about. And 2 weeks later, the article comes out. I'm on the cover with Emilio and I think Judd, and it's a still from St. Elmo's Fire of us at a bar, like acting crazy. It's still from the movie. So it looks like we posed for it.
Right.
And the title is Hollywood's Brat Pack.
Wow.
And the article has nothing to do with Orson Welles or Emilio's work as a director. It's all to do with this phenomenon of young actors sort of taking over Hollywood, but really all we really like to do is drink. Well, not necessarily untrue, but it's like super bitchy in that way that journalism used to be. The one good thing I'll say about journalism today is the gotcha celebrity bitchathon. There's not really a market for that anymore.
Well, it got taken over by the internet.
The internet. That's right.
So they don't have to be bitchy.
Very good point.
Yeah.
But they devastated all of us. But the public, interestingly, regular folks never got, it was lost on them.
Right.
They just thought the Brat Pack was cool. But for a lot of the actors in it, a lot of them to this day are super bitter and angry about it. I don't care.
Because it had an impact on their career?
Yeah, they feel like it had, and it probably did. It probably made people go, oh, they're not as cool. And they're not as serious and they're jaded, whatever that. But with 30 years of history, I look back on it and I think the term is great. It's like the fact that people still refer to it, I think is cool. But at the time, a lot of people were really bent out of shape about it. And it was a really gnarly gotcha piece.
I thought of it as just a comparison to the Rat Pack, which was fucking cool.
Yes.
So this was a bunch of younger people who were like the Rat Pack. Oh, it'll be funny or clever to say Brat Pack. Yeah. That's where I took it.
And if you hadn't read the article, and obviously, I don't know not a lot of people read New York Magazine, so most people just thought of it as that, and that's cool. I'm down with that. I'd do Brat Pack merch if the opportunity arose.
Yeah. I tried that. I tried going to some convention and signing autographs.
How
and
was that? Should I do one of those?
No.
No.
Well, you should, but I should never do it again.
No, why? Why? I think we're very similar.
I mean, possibly it was a bad day of the week. Possibly it was Father's Day, and there was a reason why no one showed up. But
Amazing.
There I am with my little pile of headshots, feeling a bit.
Oh my God.
A bit slimy, just a little bit.
First of all, where was it?
It wasn't Cincinnati, but let's call it Cincinnati.
Okay.
But it was like that.
Understood.
And they paid me a chunk to show up, and boy, did they not get their money's worth.
Amazing. And here's the part that gets dicey. I mean, you're probably not going to name names. Because my thing is all about who's at the table next to you. Because it isn't going to be Daniel Day-Lewis.
No, I think it was a wrestler.
There you go.
Yeah, and doing very well.
And it wasn't John Cena.
No.
Or The Rock.
You're Brat Pack now. What was the first thing that you can remember where it was like, no, I'm not, suck on this, look at this performance. I know you didn't choose it that way, but looking back, what broke you away from that, do you think?
I think it was the About Last Night, even though Demi was in it with me and she is fantastic in it. That movie, it's based on David Mamet's play, Sexual Perversity in Chicago. So it was a great piece of writing. Ed Zwick's first movie.
Yeah, wonderful director.
And it was the first sort of adult-ish thing that I got to do.
Did you ever in this have moments of, I don't know, I'm out.
Yes.
I've shot my whatever.
Yeah, for sure. You think it's over. It's only taken me within the past 5 years of realizing, like you, it's like you're a made man, as they would say in the mafia. You made your bones back in the. Always that phrase, "You made your bones," makes me laugh. But like you made your bones back at Paramount, stage 23. You and Woody, you made your bones together.
In the latter half of the former century.
You made your bones when I was kicking. So I realize I'm probably not going anywhere at this point, but it took me a long time where I can remember times where I thought my career was for sure over. For sure.
I had a moment after Cheers and Becker, and I tried something else that lasted like 9 episodes. And it was like, oh, okay, I'm boring myself. I'm not funny. There are other people who are doing this and are really funny. And I'm out. No more TV. And I went to Jeffrey Katzenberg, and I said, who I'd known from 3 Men and a Baby. And I said, you don't have to pay me, but put me in any kind of movie. I'm not going to do TV anymore. It's a bit part, whatever. I don't care. I just want to start doing movies. And I don't know if he was responsible, but I got to be in Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, I remember it vividly. I've always wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah. Well, on your own time, pal.
Yes,
not this time.
Believe me, that's when we reunite on my show. I have it underlined.
Yeah, I thought I was out. And then Curb Your Enthusiasm kind of reinvigorated my desire to be funny.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I mean, legendary arc character for you, even though it's you, but not you.
Yeah.
And one of the great comedies of all time.
All right. Thank you. Moving on. Sorry. We'll save that. So you have children. That's a big deal to be an actor, famous actor, and have kids and raise them in some way that allows them not to be in your shadow.
Yeah.
Was that a big juggle for you, or?
It's the reason we moved out of LA. And Matthew was 6 months old, and I remember vividly the light bulb going on and going, I got to get out of here. He was literally 6 months old. And they're like, you better be thinking about preschool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, what? What? I can barely figure out how to put a diaper on this kid. Like, no, in LA, the preschools, there's a list, and you should really think about this one. And I tell you, you should talk to. You should talk to about the He's got preschools. Why? You need to talk to Mike Ovitz.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm out. I'm out of the city. I am gone.
Wow, that's mature though, because you can get sucked into the what's hot and what's not here in LA.
Every once in a while, I have a really good vision. Really, truly, every once in a while, like wanted to be an actor, knew I should get sober, knew who I should marry, knew I had to move out of LA. Doesn't it? It feels like and looking back, it looks like I'm good for a good idea every 10 years.
That was a good idea. Mary did that. Mary moved out of town and moved to Ojai and raised her kids there, and one of the great schools.
Yeah.
Oak Grove, just a brilliant school.
Oh, yeah. I spent a lot of my sons went to Kate, so Thatcher
Yes.
was the big rival.
Yes.
So I spent a lot of time.
Did they surf?
They were on the surf team at Kate.
Yeah.
The surf team.
Yeah. Charlie McDowell, Mary's son, is a big surfer.
Amazing.
Yeah. Loves it.
That's so amazing. Yeah. No, so they and you know, the thing about living up in Santa Barbara, Montecito was that, you know, it's not a company town.
No. As a matter of fact, you're a bit of an outsider if you're an actor.
100%. There were always actors, had a footprint up there. Robert Mitchum had been there forever. Robert Mitchum.
How cool is that?
I know. Come on. And, you know, but it was regular people and working class people and a couple, and then, you know, there were always old school Eastern families with lots of money as well. But it was kind of a mishmash of different things. And I got to coach Little League without having to worry about pulling out the president of Paramount's kid from third base because he's a fucking spastic. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's what honestly, that was part of it too. Is like I knew I wanted to coach kids sports.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. I'm not kidding. And I was like, I don't want to sit there with my agents' kids, my publicist kids, with this movie stars. I just didn't want. I know that sounds weird, but I didn't want that. Is that insane?
No, it's smart. And I don't know if that comes from, I made it. I made it big. I'm part of a title, the Brat Pack, you know.
Oh, no, I wasn't there yet. I was still ready. I had many years of worrying about whether I was done before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. I'll give it to you. That was a really brave, mature choice.
Well, it made all the difference. And my kids, knock on wood, are doing great. Johnny, my youngest, so he went to Stanford.
Yeah.
Like you.
2 years I went. He went 4.
You did. He made it.
Smart lad.
But then he decided he wanted to be an actor. And I'm like, well, you could have told me that before I wrote the check. Because, I mean, all you had to do was 4 years to go into Jamba Juice.
Yeah. That was me.
And, you know, going to yoga. And it would have been exactly the same. But anyway.
Johnny, he doesn't mean that.
No. He's co-created a show on Netflix that he and I do together.
Unstable?
Unstable.
I looked at a clip. That's pretty cool.
It's really
well
fun.
Done. Well done him.
It's really fun. And he's a really, really talented writer and a really, really good actor as well. And so, you know, sometimes you can't fight City Hall. You know what I mean? You can't fight genetics. And then Matthew, my oldest, was the one who went, I want nothing to do with this business. And so he went to Duke and then went to Loyola and got his law degree and now is in finance and has like a real job. Living in LA.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Yeah. He didn't go New York. That's cool.
No, he loves the outdoors. He's a big time, intense outdoorsman. Yeah. So he has to be near the ocean and all of that.
Oh, Southern California has a lot to love. Man.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
But a lot of that then, I'm assuming, because you were out of town a lot.
I took him
Fell on your wife's shoulder.
Well, here's what happened. So I was doing movies, and in those days there were all those independent movies. There was lots of that, and I was kind of living in that world. And they would come with me. They were young enough that we always traveled like the Von Trapp family. We traveled together. They were young enough that they weren't really in school, whatever. Right. And then when they got into elementary school, I just fortuitously got the West Wing script. And then I was here and doing television.
Did you commute?
And I commuted, yeah. The first I did.
Wow.
For the 4 years I was on West Wing, I commuted.
That means up at 3:34.
It was brutal. But
wow.
But I didn't know any better. And you know, like you don't know what you're missing until you've been driven somewhere. You don't know what you're missing. So I was like, well, this is what you do. And I was up, and then the sun wasn't up with my coffee and driving in, and I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
But I think it made a difference because I was home.
Yeah.
every night. And they knew I was home. The kids knew I was home.
Yeah.
That made a big difference.
Yeah, it
But
does.
it enabled my television work coincided almost perfectly with them being in school where we wouldn't be able to pull them out and travel.
Yeah. God, good for you.
No, it was a lot of it was luck. I mean, a lot of it was luck. Yeah.
They must have, even in Santa Barbara, bumped into, oh, your dad's famous, huh?
But they never tell you.
That's true.
They never tell you. Ever. Ever. I bet you your kids have never seen Cheers.
No.
Of course they haven't.
They never come to work unless, I'm interviewing Rob Lowe today. Oh, we'll come. All right. Otherwise, they couldn't give a rat's ass.
No, they don't care at all.
No,
it's unbelievable. I just know without asking. I promise you, your kids have never seen Cheers. Of course they haven't.
Yeah.
Why would Ted Danson's kids ever want to see the most iconic comedy in the history of television? Why would they ever want to see that?
I'm going to play this clip for them.
Yes.
Because they will embarrassingly admit to that every once in a while.
Oh, for sure. You think my kids have seen The West Wing?
Yeah. Maybe Johnny?
No, particularly not Johnny.
Oh, all right.
Oh, Dad, that show's like science fiction.
Wait, it is now.
It is now. No, he's right. He's not wrong.
Yeah,
he's not wrong. It's watching that show now. You're like it plays like a comedy.
Can I move away from career for a minute and talk about your big old heart and what drives you nowadays? If you had I know this is off purpose for me because I need to do something in the world besides acting and all this stuff.
Yeah.
What is that like for you now? Where is your heart? Where is that center of you, and what's it aiming at, kind of thing?
I mean, it's funny. I spend a lot of time mentoring young men because my kids they still need mentoring, but it's a different thing. They're on their own and kind of doing their own thing. And the best way I can mentor them in many ways is to stay out of their lives, honestly, in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I missed that and I was good at it. And so, if there's a young person maybe struggling with drugs or alcohol, I know I'm going to get that call, which is great. And I love helping to the extent that I'm able to do that. So I devote a lot of time in the recovery world with that. And I also
unofficially, just people finding you or reaching out to you or hearing about you.
Yeah, they're like, you know how things are. There's like a network.
Right.
And people who know, you know what I mean? And there are other people out doing what I do. It's not, Bradley Cooper does a lot of work in that area. He's a great friend to people who are trying to get it together. And there are others. So I do a lot of that. I do a lot of work in the cancer fundraising in honor of my mom and her mother and my grandmother, 3 generations of breast cancer.
Wow.
And then the other thing I do is I work with a group called the Horatio Alger Society. They're out of Washington, D.C., and it's self-made people like Horatio Alger.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Say that again. What is
the Horatio Alger Association? So it's the Society of Distinguished Americans that I was honored to be invited to. And it's the who's who of people. And what we do is every year we pick 2 students who have to apply from each state who are at the top of their class academically, but whose families make less than $25,000 a year and who have the horror stories of where they come from. Or like, you don't even want to repeat them out loud. They're so bad what these kids are dealing with at home, the kind of abuse. And we pay for their college education. And we have a dinner every year in Washington, and we get to meet these kids. And I'll tell you what, you will know our country is in great hands when you see these young students and in spite of everything they're going through, getting great grades and wanting to change the world while they go home and have the crap beaten out of them and everything else you could possibly imagine, and they still show up, and to be able to be a part of that is super, super cool. So those are really the three areas where I kind of am spending my time when I want to give back.
Tell me about the kids. Is there a follow-up?
Oh, yeah.
Know everything about
like
them?
like Cheryl and I sponsor, and then so the members will all sponsor kids as well. And so you don't just give pay for the education
Right.
and go, good luck, because they, a lot of them don't know how to live.
Right.
So we've, Cheryl and I have sponsored a student from going to college. He's now in the workforce, and, it's, whatever he may need, a little money here and there, checking in, advice, it's like a, like Big Brother program used to
Right.
be, or whatever.
Right.
And it's very, very inspiring. It's a great group.
I think you've answered my next question, which is how do you cope with, there's a lot going on in the world to make you scared, sad, hopeless.
Yeah.
If you're not vigilant. But I guess what you do in life, the giving back, as you called it, is what probably keeps your heart in good shape.
Yeah, because it's easy to get jaded.
Yeah.
And sometimes my comedy comes from a place of that, because there's nothing better than the archetype of the sort of Paul Newman archetype of the world-weary Butch Cassidy or the slapshot coach, and I kind of
Right.
like that sort of vibe a lot.
Yeah.
But if you live in that,
It's a cop-out.
yeah, right. So working with people who are, wanting to change their life, wanting to better themselves and change their lives, that's the key.
Yeah.
Working with people who are actively wanting to change their lives for
Right.
the better, in whatever that looks like.
Enter Jane Fonda.
Jane.
Oh, man. Isn't she just an
Jane.
inspiration? I met her when I was just turning 70, and I thought at 70 I was going, well, I better find a nice, soft place to land and kind of gear down and make sure everything is in order. And then I met her, and she was 80, and she had her foot on the gas pedal. She still does at 85. She is relentless. She'll do a 12-day shooting, turn around, get on a plane, fly to so-and-so to campaign for somebody who's going to, not take oil money.
Yeah.
She's just truly inspirational.
She's had so many chapters.
Her documentary, speaking of chapters,
it's
is brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, there's nobody like her. Nobody.
She also will say anything, tell any truth, and share anything. There's nothing hidden about her life. When we first met her, Mary and I both drove home going, oh, I don't think she should say all the, I think she needs to be more guarded. And then it was like, oh,
no, that
maybe we're too guarded.
That ship sailed a long time ago for
that's
Jane.
true. That's true.
Right?
We are so blessed to be around our children. We have 4 kids, and they are willing, for some bizarre reason, to share their friends with us.
It's the best.
And it's the best. It really is. And now we get grandchildren,
Oh my God.
which you're going to love, because then you get to watch it like an anthropologist and go, wow, look at that brain develop.
But here's my question.
Yeah.
Cheryl and I talked about this the other day. I don't know. Do you root for grandkids? Well, once you're married, you root for grandkids. I guess I don't want to root for grandkids. Both my kids are single, so let's not have any grandkids at the moment.
No. All in the fullness of time.
In the fullness of time.
I think it happened to me in a perfect time. I was just starting to get a smidge grumpy about being old.
Yeah.
And along came a granddaughter, and it was like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
Or I look in the mirror and go, oh shit, look at this thing hanging from my chin, this flap of skin. And then one of them is sitting in my lap, playing with it with their finger, just kind of smacking it back and forth. And I'm going, yes, thank God I have a waddle, because this is fun.
Waddle is my favorite word
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah.
The password is
Waddle.
waddle.
Not to be confused with wattle.
No, not at all.
thank you so much for sitting down with me. What I'm beginning to learn about podcasts, not that I'm good at it.
You're great at it.
But the opportunity to sit next to somebody you really don't know, or even but you've never sat down for an hour and got to talk about
Isn't it
anything.
amazing?
Yes, it is. It's a privilege. It really is.
It is such a privilege. I love it. And when I go back and I vacillate between which is more fun, sitting down with somebody you do not know,
Yes.
or someone you know really well, because they're both different gears.
Yes. But you will find out. I mean, I've sat with Woody here on this podcast and I found out stuff I had no idea.
My sense is you could do a podcast with Woody for the next century and find out things you didn't know about Woody.
Yes, that's true, because he is such a bundle of contradictions.
I mean, right?
Yes. Yes. I will only eat the purest of air, but I will smoke and drink this.
I please.
You know?
You're kidding me. Listen.
I admire you so much, Rob.
Oh, and vice versa.
I'm really, really grateful for this. Thanks.
Vice versa. Thanks. This is great.
Yeah.